This is the new DJI Osmo Action, and we have used it and abused it in many different scenarios. What does DJI pretend with this, and is this a nuclear bomb dropping onto GoPro? GoPro tried to destroy DJI's ambitions a couple of years ago with the Karma, and you know, as the word says, what goes around comes around. This will be, of course, an in-depth and full review about the new DJI Osmo Action Cam, and yes, we're gonna give this away. DJI launches with this camera as the first one of the Osmo Action series, and it kind of steps away from the Osmo Pocket, and as the name says here, it is aimed towards people that want to record a little bit their actions. What is new? Which capabilities has it? There are a lot of questions, and our experience here and what we're going to tell you will help us, but we have to say it's the first time that DJI launches a final product into an already existing market, and not only this, it's a market that is already saturated. So are we gonna see if this is a big win or a big failure? No more talking, let's go inside. Hello guys, and welcome to a new We Talk UAV video. This is Alex with Chivo on the camera. The history of action cams goes a long way back, but you know, we don't want to talk that much. It wouldn't be understood without the eruption of GoPro into the world of the action cams a decade ago. Since GoPro did a real revolution inside the action cam world, there have been many companies that have been trying to fight against GoPro, as J-Cam, Sony, Garmin, Yi, TomTom, but they kind of have failed trying to be the new action cam kings. So it kind of surprises us that DJI does this step right now. The most important thing to remember here is that when a company tries to compete against GoPro, it is not competing only against a camera, but a marketing tsunami with elite sponsorships, big events, whole sports that are promoted by GoPro, and that's where, as I'm saying, most of the companies will fail. But with DJI now, it's a whole new and different scenario, as we're saying, because we believe that they have the power and the action, as the Osmo Action says, to be competing face-to-face with GoPro. And for that purpose, of course, we have done already a comparison of the Osmo Action with the GoPro 7. You will find the link because we have uploaded simultaneously the comparison between these two awesome action cams. Make sure to check it out after the review and after leaving the like for this video too. No more talking, let's now see the most important specs of the DJI Osmo Action. And now something that you've been waiting for, some awesome cinematic footage, airsoft, Chivo playing. This is gonna be awesome. Oh, and by the way, remember that we're giving this away, so make sure to check out the link at the end of the video on the description. Now, what's the concept of the new DJI Osmo Action Cam? Well, if you ever saw an action cam or if you saw the GoPro 7, it is basically the same. Also very important, the extras and the accessories you'll be mounting for diving or for, going into the water will be exactly the same. What is new on the Osmo Action Cam? Well, the most important thing here is that we have a front screen, not a flip screen coming from the back, that allows me to know what I'm filming exactly and to frame properly. Not only this, of course this is thought for vloggers, but the nice thing now is that the Osmo Action comes with two mics, one on the top and one on the left side of the camera, which, right now we don't know how it's filming. You're listening now to our Sennheiser through the Sony, and right now you're listening to the Osmo Action microphones. We don't know if it's good or not. Take your own conclusions. If you're filming regularly with the back screen and you want to jump onto the front color screen in order to do some vlogging, all you have to do is either holding the QS button or just saying screen switch. And as you'll see, it will jump onto the front screen. You can also record HDR video, and this is recommended doing when you have a lot of light, and it won't be working with EIS, electronic image stabilization, simultaneously. For those people that don't like the fisheye look too much and just want something more straight and regular, DJI introduces this D-Warp, and it is actually amazing because you will be able to do it in photo, in video and in 4K video, which you don't find really in other cameras, and you will be able, as I'm saying, to change this fisheye to a way more normal look. Another great thing of this camera is that it allows you to connect an external third-party microphone through the USB-C connection. Unfortunately, you're not able to do fast charging on this camera, and a charge will take up to 1 hour and 15 minutes approximately. There are three things that you can detach and unscrew actually from the Osmo Action Cam. One will be this lens cap, the other thing of course will be the whole battery, and there's a hover on the USB-C connection and where you put the micro SD card. There's a hover that you can actually take off. When you are putting in a microphone or something like that, you'll be able to connect it more easily. All those three things must be attached when you want to put it underwater, and if you see it like this, you'll be able to dive up to 11 meters deep into the water. And now a little bit more of amazing footage. Let's get onto a nice motorbike. Before showing you some real image quality tests, we have to talk about Rock Steady. Rock Steady, the shortcut RS on top right corner of the camera, stands for the electronic image stabilization EIS that DJI developed specially for this camera. I have to say it's awesome, and it just blew our minds. And really, no more talking, let's go now and see the tests. Oh, and of course, by the way, this also takes pictures. We didn't mention it, but yes, 12 megapixel, one 2.3 inch sensor, and here are some examples. Before getting into the studio, we wanted to talk about filters, and if you've been following We Talk UAV in the past months and years, you know that for us filters are super important, and they don't do really much more than blocking the light getting into the sensor, such as, for example, great sunglasses like this one, and In this case, Freewell has sent us their 8-pack filter. You'll find the link in the description if you're interested. And overall what they do is allow you to change around the settings a little bit in order to shoot in manual mode, a little bit more pro looking and aiming for that cinematic footage. For this part of the review, we wanted to get back to the studio to be a little bit more chill and quiet, to talk about the user interface, the app, and overall our experience when, talking about the menus and the app. First of all, and most important, you will be using the DJI Mimo app. You may know it from the Osmo Pocket, and basically the app does exactly the same that you can do on the camera, but with a bigger screen. The second thing would be the voice control. It is pretty simple to turn on and turn off. We know this from previous cameras, and you actually have a command list inside to see the commands that you can tell the camera. Another very important thing on these cameras would be locking the screen on the back, especially if they are touch screens. So here, of course, you can also lock the screen. A very nice thing are the 5 custom modes that you can set up inside the menu here, and as you can see, you can just set anything you want, Cinestyle, 4K, 3060, and you can save them here, up to 5 different profiles in order to get faster to them. Another great thing is this quick shot button. We talked about this before in the review, and it allows you to switch, just by pressing, to switch from one mode to another, from video to photo or HDR video, whatever. It is customizable so that you can set in that menu any mode that you want. Also, of course, you don't have to shoot in auto mode, you have manual modes, and inside that you'll find the ability to change the ISO, the shutter speed, and even the white balance. Having a nice touchscreen allows us to have 4 different sliding directions with menus that slide in, and for example, if you go from left to right, the nice media library will show up and you'll be able to see what you filmed, what you recorded. If you go from the top down, you'll see the camera preferences and settings. On the right to the left, you'll see the different settings for the video if you're filming, for example, the ISO, the shutter speed, and all that. And if you slide from the bottom to the top, you'll see the different video resolutions and frame rates. And finally, the nice thing about the battery system is it doesn't really have a cover like in other action cams. It has these 2 buttons that by pressing both, you'll be able to take off the battery, enhancing a little bit the security of the waterproofness. Oh, and not to forget that if the camera is turned off just by pressing, the delay is about 1 second. The camera off, I press the rec button and it starts recording. If I press again, it stops recording and it turns off. Summing up for this review, we wanted to tell you a little bit the feelings and the experience it was filming this video, and we're pretty happy. We have to say that DJI, in this case with the Osmo Action, it is not coming up with something completely new. There are tons of features that we've already seen in some other cameras and other brands, but there are a few things, and we want to highlight them, that are really, really cool on the Osmo Action. For example, the HDR video. We've seen it when comparing the footage right out of the camera. You can use that footage. It is well balanced, it has a good color, it is sharp, it is pretty awesome. Second, the front color screen in this case, it is not only for vloggers to frame you properly, but also for people when you're right in action, for example, going down with a bike, some kind of mountain, if you want to film yourself, overall, it will be perfect for frame you right. Plus, we've also seen that you can use the dewarp function on the 4K, and it will straighten up a little bit the lines in case you don't like too much the fisheye effect. On the other hand, remember that this camera is developed by DJI and everything that stands behind this name, big and powerful competitor against GoPro in this case. And we have to say that it is a real risky step for DJI also, because they are entering that saturated market of the action cams. So it will be very nice to see how it develops in the next months. With the Osmo Action, we now have a bunch of Osmo products, and it is interesting to see with the Osmo Pocket, the Osmo Plus, the Osmo Mobile, how this will develop inside DJI if they are creating that actual branch in order to create their own cameras, more different cameras in the future, we don't know. It will be very interesting to see in the future too. This also means that we can be expecting, for example, 360 cameras or other cameras, not only for drones, but also independent cameras from drones. Finally, to the question whether I would be buying it or not, well, of course I would. If I don't have an action cam, this is awesome. I mean, this will take the whole latest technology that is out in the market. It will add some features that you have not seen yet. So definitely the stabilization was awesome. I have to say that I believe it's the best thing out of this camera was the EIS, the electronic image stabilization. The job that it did was just awesome. It was perfect. And overall the 4K was pretty decent too. So we can expect this as your new action camera for sure. Nothing really else to say, guys. Remember that we are giving this magnificent action cam away, the Osmo Action. So make sure to check the link in the description. Nothing really else to say. We really hope that you like this video. Leave a like for, you know, we spent so many hours doing this review, also for Chibo for this amazing edit. And nothing really else to say. Remember to like, to sub, and the bell and everything else. Always remember to keep calm and talk UAV.